headlines of VTV News. National Assembly's 6th sitting day discusses Resolution 43. Localities take urgent actions to fight IUU fishing. And later on in our world news, the International Court of Justice orders Israel to immediately halt its operation in Rafah.
Broadcasting from Hanoi, the capital of Vietnam, VTV News starts right now.
Hello, this is VTV News coming live to you from Hanoi. You're with me, Rafah, and here's the top news of the hour. This morning, May the 25th, National Assembly deputies discussed the draft resolution on thematic supervision of the National Assembly's Resolution 43 on fiscal and monetary policies. The resolution was issued to support the recovery of socio-economic development. More in the following.
During the session, National Assembly deputies affirmed that the National Assembly's issuance of Resolution 43 was timely. By the end of last year, the entire political system had worked to complete many of the goals and targets it set out.
The National Assembly's choice of supervision topic implementing the resolution is crucial. The results of the supervision show the party's leadership, the proactive and timely involvement of the National Assembly, and the robust management of the government. The implementation of the resolution has achieved many positive results.
Resolution 43 played a crucial role in many socio-economic development results. The GDP expanded 8.12% in 2022, and the rate in 2023 was 5.05%. The public debt was only about 37%. In addition, important national projects were also evaluated.
The bright spot in implementing Resolution 43 is that many support mechanisms and policies reach the public and businesses. It focused those resources on investment in infrastructure development, especially transport infrastructure. Up to now, over 2,000 kilometers of expressways have been completed and brought into use.
During the discussions, National Assembly deputies also expressed concern and clarified the causes of the slow disbursement of public investment. They suggested clear regulations on responsibilities and accountability in this matter.
I can see the slowness in the preparation for each project. This is the main reason, I believe, for the low disbursement rate. In addition to site clearance, there are still many shortcomings. The documents submitted to the National Assembly for approval still need to be clarified and are not even close to reality on the ground. This will lead to many revisions.
Currently, among the 272 projects under the program, 107 have a disbursement rate below 50%. I think that if a project has low disbursement efficiency and has not strictly implemented regulations, it must be cancelled. The responsibilities of relevant organizations and individuals must be investigated.
The issue is being discussed more during the ongoing afternoon session.
The State Steering Committee for Important National Infrastructure and Energy Sector Projects held an online conference with 15 localities to discuss progress in implementing liquefied natural gas projects. According to the National Power Plan 8, by 2030, 23 liquefied natural gas projects will be completed with a total installed capacity of 30,400 megawatts. However, up to now, except for the ongoing Nyunchak 3 and 4 power plant projects, most of the remaining projects are still securing investment, many of which remain to be finalized. To ensure the implementation of projects in accordance with the proposed Power Plan 8, the Steering Committee recommends that localities select investors by July the 15th at the latest. Localities need to review problems and proactively handle them according to their authority, especially issues of provincial planning, land use plans, and adjusting investment policies to promote project implementation. Some recent information about the State Bank's exchange rate management needs to be more accurate and consistent with the government's goal of stabilizing the market and macroeconomics, which is causing instability in the market. This is the assertion of the State Bank of Vietnam. According to the State Bank, the exchange rate has been under a lot of pressure recently, but the difficulties are only short-term because in the coming time, with the positive recovery of exports, the market's foreign currency supply will increase. At the same time, it is predicted that the Fed will likely cut interest rates at the end of this year, thereby reducing pressure on exchange rates for world currencies, including Vietnam dong. In the near term, the State Bank will manage the exchange rate flexibly in accordance with market developments by continuing to synchronously combine monetary policy tools and the selling of foreign currency to support market liquidity, thereby serving the economy's legal foreign currency needs, contributing to macroeconomic stability and inflation control. In January 2022, the National Assembly passed a fiscal and monetary policy resolution specifying a supporting interest rate of 2% per year up to $1.5 billion for businesses and cooperatives that can repay debt and recover after the pandemic. Other supporting programs included loans to renovate old apartments and build social housing. However, by the end of 2023, banks had only disbursed approximately $47 million, equivalent to around 3% of the support package. Thereby, the government has requested the National Assembly extend the policy for another 6 months instead of ending on June the 30th.
As soon as the support package was issued, this business borrowed capital. Even though it maintained export momentum immediately after the pandemic and met the recovery criteria, this business still has to give up its support package.
There are too many procedures, and post-disbursement procedures are very complicated. We have to hire at least one employee to specialize in preparing documents and procedures before and after receiving disbursements.
The disbursement procedures are even more complicated for cooperatives and business households. Many problems arise, such as a need for more collateral or the requirement of having red invoices, while most households only have retail invoices.
No unit or agency has provided information about the support package to the province's 1,260 communes. Like us, even the top 5 and top 10 communes don't know much about it.
According to the Vietnam Chamber of Commerce and Industry, only 30% of businesses and cooperatives know about this policy, and just 2% of businesses have received loans.
We can only expect better disbursements by following market principles and converting them into commercial transactions.
It is necessary to develop strict criteria that do not cause a loss of state capital but are also open enough for banks and businesses to utilize the support package.
For the remaining capital that has yet to be disbursed, the government will submit proposals to the National Assembly to cancel the capital plan, mobilize resources, and avoid increasing overspending.
The number of large cargo ships entering Vietnamese seaport is increasing, the key conclusion of a conference organized by the Vietnam Maritime Administration is that Vietnam's seaport system needs to be prepared to receive these ships. Currently, there are 34 seaports in Vietnam. Of these, 13 have been approved by the Ministry of Transport to berth large cargo ships. The ports are mainly located in the seaport areas of Hải Phòng, Vũng Tàu, and Ho Chi Minh City. The ability to receive large cargo ships has increased operational efficiency for shipping lines, reduced transportation costs, and increased competitiveness for Vietnamese seaports. The European Commission, or EC, has rescheduled an illegal, unreported and unregulated IUU fishing inspection in Vietnam from May to this autumn. The visit will take place between September and October instead of May. Provinces have taken strong measures to combat IUU fishing and sustainably develop the fisheries industry. More in the following.
The central provinces of Quảng Bình and Quảng Trị are home to a huge fishing fleet of nearly 5,800 vessels. Many in these two localities have now gained a better understanding of legal fishing regulations.
The monitoring equipment must be on 27 during our fishing trip. We must also ensure the catch origin so we can sell it at good prices. Our fishermen not only sell the catch domestically, but also export these products to foreign countries. The departure date, fishing date, and fishing area must always be accurate.
Recently, the management of fishing vessels, including monitoring productivity, traceability, and journeys, has been a concern for many localities. Many central provinces still face difficulties, such as fishing ports undergoing upgrades and repairs, which make monitoring difficult. Nearly 700 fishing vessels in Quảng Bình and Quảng Trị provinces have yet to be registered, inspected, or licensed to exploit marine species.
Bodyguards ask fishermen to sign a commitment before going to sea, ensuring that they will fish in the correct area and not cross the boundary. The authorities direct relevant units to use the electronic logbook system to manage vessels in and out of the ports. By monitoring the journey, units are required to act against violating vessels.
The EC's fourth IUU fishing inspection in Vietnam in October last year showed positive progress. Removing the yellow card on seafood products is considered a critical and urgent task for Vietnam, as the European Union is among the top 3 largest export markets for Vietnamese seafood, behind the US and China.
Besides strengthening solutions to combat IUU fishing, export companies also focus on improving their seafood processing capacity. By investing in high-end processing machinery and equipment, seafood businesses have improved product quality to meet the requirements of many foreign markets. More in the following.
The seafood purchasing and processing company has invested over $780,000 in modern machinery to improve its processing capacity. The advanced tech has increased the company's capacity to 15,000 tons of fish a year.
Most of our products are available worldwide in the US, Europe, and Asia, you name it. And recently, we have accessed many potential markets such as India and China.
Many seafood processing facilities in these localities have changed their thinking and business practices. When purchasing seafood, they comply with fishing fleet commitments.
A voyage brings back 2 tons of herring, and I earn $1,000 USD from it. We can fish with peace of mind because we know the company will buy our catch.
We apply the HACCP management and the KCS management systems on our production lines. We all comply with certification according to BRC standards.
Quảng Bình and Quảng Trị provinces have about 122 seafood processing establishments. Among them are 3 export enterprises and over 100 processing establishments for domestic consumption. The province's main export markets are China, Japan, and Thailand.
We implement policies to support aquaculture development and plan to bring processing facilities to a centralized scale, ensuring food safety and hygiene in accordance with export requirements.
The central provinces continue to promote links between seafood production and product consumption. Trade promotion also creates cohesion and shares profits and risks between businesses and producers. All efforts aim to increase the productivity, quality, and value of aquatic products.
Coming up next, farmers adapt to drought to sustain livelihoods. And Sơn Dòng Cave among top 7 most beautiful underground attractions. watching VTV News. Ho Chi Minh City opened its first international ginseng and fragrance and medicinal herbs festival on Le Loi Street, District 1 on May the 24th. Lasting until May the 26th, the event sees the participation of domestic and international businesses and localities with the reputation for ginseng, flavorings and medicinal herbs, including from Canada, the US, the Republic of Korea, Japan, India, and Southeast Asia. The festival includes hundreds of booths, a food court on Le Loi Street, a seminar on ginseng and aromas and medicinal herbs held on May the 24th at the Caravel Hotel, and cultural and artistic exchange programs. Last year, online scammers defrauded people of more than $314 million. The tricksters used sophisticated methods like spam phone numbers and AI to commit fraud. One reason online scamming has exploded is user data leaks. The criminals access information about the victim's family members, thereby gaining the victim's trust.
World cybersecurity experts discovered about 26 billion leaked user data records earlier this year, the largest volume ever. Vietnam's Zing application is listed as one of the sources of the leaks, with 164 million records compromised.
When asked to install an application on our phone, we should check its origin. Do not install applications that are not available on official app stores.
Recently, an elderly woman in Theo District, Hanoi, had more than $700,000 scammed by someone pretending to be a police officer. A woman in Bình Định was scammed out of over $1.1 million when she registered her child to participate in a marathon via social networks. Experts recommend that to avoid data leaks, it is necessary to apply the principle of zero trust.
Zero trust is when we don't trust anyone online 100%. Don't completely trust any technical staff, any system, any solution. We should combine many different information security solutions and apply multiple layers of protection to minimize risks.
The authorities must strictly tackle user data leaks. Last year, 1,500 online scam cases were prosecuted. However, up to 1,200 cases had to be suspended, and the investigation was extended because the culprit had not been identified. The key to scams is to prey on people's greed, gullibility, and lack of vigilance. Therefore, users must be alert and not click on suspicious links.
The return of heat waves has added more urgency to water shortages in the south-central region. Many reservoirs have run dry, prompting farmers to halt summer-autumn production in parts of the crop-growing area. As farmers across the region find ways to adapt to the changing weather, Ninh Thuận Province has proactively implemented plans to sustain livestock from the onset of the drought season.
Livestock is now the primary business for farmers after ceasing cultivation due to a lack of irrigation water. Anticipating the drought, families in Mỹ Sơn Commune, Ninh Sơn District have stored dry straw, with many purchasing additional straw to prevent their cows from starving.
I put away straw left from the main farming seasons to have some animal feedstock available in the dry season.
The herd of over 300,000 horned cattle is crucial for most farming households in Ninh Thuận. As part of the drought response plan, the province halted the summer-autumn crop production on 8,000 hectares to prioritize water for domestic use and livestock.
We let sheep graze outside, provide water, and supplement their diet with straw in the afternoon to conserve resources until the rainy season.
Anticipating severe drought, farmers in Ninh Thuận did not increase their herd to reduce threats.
Farmers have years of experience and plan to move their herds to reservoirs with water if the drought persists.
So far, Ninh Thuận has not resorted to relocating livestock on a large scale like it did in previous years. Livestock remains in each farming area, maintaining stable livelihoods for farmers and compensating for income lost from abandoning some summer-autumn crops.
Under the National Target Program for New Rural Construction, many localities have enthusiastically supported constructing roads on donated lands. Hundreds of roads have been built with no state funding required. Local communities have contributed money and donated land to install electricity systems and trees on the roads, our report in Phie province.
At the end of April, Bao, representing Bozio village, submitted an application to donate land and money to expand the village roads. This wasn't the first time he had done so. Previously, villagers donated land and money to construct a 250-meter-long concrete road, which cost $7,800. This time, they proposed widening the road and investing in street lighting and tree planting.
Our old road was of standard width, but it had grown a tad too narrow after some time, so villagers unanimously agreed to widen it by another meter. We donated money and a workforce, and even called for our children from afar to send us donation.
In Hòa Bình 1 Common, many households have previously applied to build roads individually. However, the district's Baurio village is unique for collectively requesting 2 village road expansions. Additional contributions, materials, and labor for road expansion amounted to $5,800.
I was surprised to receive an application initiated by Bao and immediately took action to implement it.
Plans are now in motion to extend the road by another 150 meters, continuing the tradition of community-driven land donation and monetary contribution. The collective effort has given Bozio village a new appearance.
The South China Morning Post, or SCMP, of Hong Kong, China, has recently listed Sơn Đông Cave in Vietnam's central province of Quảng Bình as one of the world's 7 most beautiful underground attractions. During a jungle expedition in 1991, a man named Ho Khanh stumbled upon the cave entrance. However, the sound of rushing water and strong gusts of wind deterred him from venturing further inside. On subsequent attempts, he could not remember the location of the mysterious cave. In 2008, he finally rediscovered the cave and guided a royal expedition team from the UK to the cave entrance. In addition to its underground river systems, thriving jungle ecosystem, 400 million euro fossils, and spectacular geological formations, Sơn Đông Cave is home to several species of plants and animals that exist nowhere else on Earth. In 2018, a team of UK cave experts discovered that Sơn Đông Cave is at least 30% larger and much deeper than previously thought. Coming up next in our world news, the International Court of Justice ordered Israel to immediately halt its controversial military operation in Rafah. And a global life expectancy dips by 2 years post-COVID. The International Court of Justice, or ICJ, has ordered Israel to immediately halt its controversial military operation in the southern Gaza city of Rafah. The ruling stated that Israel must immediately halt its military offensive and any other action in Rafah which may destroy in whole or in part the conditions of life of the Palestinians in Gaza. The ICJ also ordered Israel to open the Rafah crossing for humanitarian assistance and investigators. Israel will have 1 month to implement the ruling before it is reported to the court. The Israeli National Security said in a joint statement with the Foreign Ministry spokesperson that Israel has not and will not carry out military operations in the Rafah area that could destroy the Palestinian civilian population. Singapore Airlines has introduced stricter cabin restrictions in case of turbulence. The statement was delivered after one passenger died and dozens of others were injured on a flight from London on Tuesday. The airline said in a statement that in-flight meal service will be halted when the seatbelt sign is switched on, in addition to the suspension of hot drinks. Crew members will also return to their seats and strap themselves in. The injuries sustained by passengers underscored the huge vertical forces when the aircraft certainly lost altitude. Passengers who weren't strapped in were catapulted into the cabin roof. Some have received treatment for spinal damage, and others have suffered skull and brain injuries. Life expectancy dropped by nearly 2 years during the COVID-19 pandemic, according to the World Health Organization. The annual health statistics report found that between 2019 and 2021, global life expectancy dropped 1.8 years to 71.4 years, the same level as in 2012. WHO said this pandemic wiped out nearly a decade of progress in improving life expectancy within just 2 years, indicating the biggest setback to health progress in the past 50 years. The Americas and Southeast Asia were hit hardest, with life expectancy dropping by approximately 3 years. Illegal immigration in the U.S. has been escalating in recent years. While increased immigration flows have some positive economic impacts, the U.S. government has introduced new rules to expedite the deportation process for illegal immigrants to mitigate negative effects.
John, a farm owner in Arizona near the Mexican border, has recently observed frequent repairs to the border wall. Additionally, his farm's barbed wire fence, meant to contain livestock, is often damaged by illegal immigrants.
The people crossing, they're cutting my fences, my cattle are running from people, they lose weight. I lose probably 10,000 gallons of water a week because they break a pipeline to get a drink and then just leave it run.
New regulations now permit U.S. immigration courts to approve or deport immigrants within 180 days, a significant reduction from the years-long process previously in place. The Congressional Budget Office estimates that with increased legal immigration, approximately 5.2 million people will join the labor force, boosting U.S. GDP by 0.2 percentage points annually over the next decade. However, immediate control of illegal immigration remains a pressing issue.
Americans don't like to do a lot of hard manual labor where illegals will do it, but it's at a point now that what are you going to do with 12 million people? Where are they going to work? Who's going to support them?
Everybody, I'm not against immigration. Everybody's families came here from immigration, but it needs to be done in a correct way.
To address this, the U.S. government is implementing various measures along the border to limit and prevent the flow of illegal immigrants. Meanwhile, Mexico is also intensifying efforts to control illegal immigration.
And now let's take a look at the weather forecast. And that's it for this edition of VTV News. Thank you very much for watching. To rewatch our program, you can download VTVgo from App Store or Google Play, or tune in our YouTube channel at youtube.com/VTV4go. Goodbye for now.